What a disaster. Sloppy, tentative, cautious. They're 3 words I'd use to describe us at different periods throughout this game. Now, I'm not going to sit here and take away from how good Fleetwood were. Fleetwood were phenomenal. But it comes back to the same thing again. We play better teams and we quite simply get absolutely bent over. It was quite simply shameful. Having had the start to the season that we've had, many fans were thinking, oh, these lot are 21st in the league or whatever, we'll walk in, absolutely squat down and it's all over them. No, definitely not. This is a team that got into the playoffs last year, and it's a team that is only stronger this year. Yes, they've lost Louis Coyle to us, but their team has still probably got stronger. And we saw that tonight with players such as Harvey Saunders, Sam Stubbs. There's someone else as well whose name is just slipping my mind. But Fleetwood were great. Plain and simple, Fleetwood were great. And as I said, I'm not going to sit here and take away from them. But if you're a neutral watching this game, surely you'll be sat there thinking, how have this Hull City team not conceded a goal in the league yet? How have this Hull City team not been beaten in the league yet? Because it was very similar to the Sunderland game. But Fleetwood, better team than Sunderland. Where defensively, look out of shape, poor, nowhere near the quality that we've shown earlier on in this season against Gillingham, against Crewe, against Plymouth, against Northampton. But we're disorganised as a unit. We look as though we've gone back to what it was last season, where it was same shit, but different day. When we go forward, we look as though we can score, which I couldn't say for last season. But tonight, it was a mess defensively. Reece Burke, Jordi Device didn't look the same as they have so far this season. Burke, especially in the last 20-25 minutes against Plymouth, was probably our best player. Because we were under the cosh and he was putting in tackles left, right and centre. Blocks, interceptions, everything. Callum Elder, everything Fleetwood did came down our left-hand side. Callum Elder was getting absolutely ran ragged by Burns. It's true. It's true. Elder will admit that. If Elder went for a tackle, Burns would go down by a sliding tackle. Burns would go down. He'd get straight back up. Elder, he'd be lagging behind. And for the squad's sake, based on tonight, thank God we've only got to play these lot one more time this season. And credit to Fleetwood where credit's due. As I've said, I'm not going to sit here and take away from them. They were fantastic. Capitalised on our errors. We didn't look particularly bad on the whole, but it's little errors. Like for the second goal, Honeyman. What is that pass? Yes, I know it's a slippery surface. Yes, I know there's wind. Yes, I know there's rain. But I'm not going to do an Arsenal fan TV type saying, we lost because it's raining. It's raining for both teams. I'm not going to sit here and do a Graham Souness saying, I think it's the length of the grass that's a problem. Because the length of the grass is the same for each team. But Fleetwood, 4-1 flatters us. Fleetwood should have had about 3 or 4 penalties. We'll just discuss these. I'm not doing it in the same order as what we normally do. Because I just want to sit and analyse key points. Fleetwood, first of all, we had a penalty shout. In my eyes, definitely not a penalty. It's very soft. Some refs would have given it. For me, from a non-biased perspective, that is not a penalty. But I would give it if I was referee because I'm a City fan. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why I'm saying it as though you can respond back out. I'm talking at a screen. So Fleetwood's first penalty, Malik Wilks, grappling, everything like that. That, for me, was a penalty to Fleetwood. The second time, Ched Evans goes searching for it. On commentary, Lee Hendry and whoever was alongside him saying, oh yeah, this one's a penalty as well. With this one, Evans is pushing Malik Wilks down. If this is Malik Wilks' shoulder, this side of my chair, he is pushing it down, trying, because as Malik Wilks goes down, grab onto an arm, go with him. Or it look as though Wilks has just gone for the old grapple or whatever. Now the third one, I can't remember exactly what it was like, but someone was brought down, definitely a penalty. Fleetwood's first goal, I'm not doing this in chronological order. If chronological order is watching this video, click off, because this is in tatters. The chronological order that we normally have in these match reactions isn't happening. Plain and simple, not happening. If you're in for chronological order, click off. Do you know what I mean? There's nobody here for chronological order. You just want to hear my thoughts on the game. Fleetwood's first goal. Batty, very, very poor. Gets outpaced. Reece Burke commits, then pulls out, then realises, oh, there's nobody running for me to mark. I need to commit again. Ingram, unlucky. Could have done better. Yeah. Our goal, our sole goal. But before we touch on that, Lewis Potter, he was onside. The angle that Sky Sports show, why for offside are you showing a face on camera angle? It's dumb. It's dumb. If you need to look at something, the way that a linesman will look at it when it's on the side of the pitch and you can see everything going in front of him, he's facing that way, the play's going that way, the liner isn't stood on the goal line looking forward, because then what's the point in him putting his flag up? Sky Sports, just because it's League One and think, oh yeah, we can get away with low budget, not bothering to show a proper offside camera angle and not even discussing it at half time is criminal. It's criminal. It's a brilliant finish by Lewis Potter. And from what I could see of that camera angle, the odd faced on, half sideline, diagonal dross of a camera angle that Sky Sports showed, Lewis Potter looked onside. And it's a brilliant finish, robbed of goal of the season. If that goes in and that counts, it's a completely different game. But point is, it didn't. It didn't. Our goal, Lewis Potter, really good run. Wilkes, shot deflected, saved, whatever. Honeyman's just right place, right time. Poacher's goal, that. Well done, George Honeyman. You were at fault for their second one, though, so the credits that you got for your goal have just been gone from here to about there, because the pass was so blatantly crap. The third one, I've got it written down here somewhere. Let me find it. It's somewhere. Yeah, Evans squared it to Saunders, who put it in an empty net. Defence absolutely split. Again down the left-hand side. Callum Elder, first one down the left-hand side. Where is Callum Elder? Second one, not his fault, but he still ended up down the left-hand side where he wasn't in the correct positions. And the fourth one, corner. Stubbs just out-jumped Jordan Device. Plain and simple. This game was made for Josh McGuinness. When Malik Wilkes is trying to hold the ball up, it's not happening. For someone like McGuinness, who can throw his weight around in this division, this sort of game was perfect for him. But, of course, he has to be good enough for the Northern Ireland squad, so we don't have him when a game is perfect for him to be subbed on into. Of course, James Scott needs to be injured as well, but he'd have been on international duty if he wasn't injured. And of course, Tom Eaves has to be injured as well. So we've got no striker on the bench. Although we could have put James Berry on there. And I said in the preview Premier Live chat, because I recorded that before I found out about Eaves' injury setback, that he should have that he'd replace Eaves with Berry. Why is he not putting a striker on the bench? Yes, Berry's inexperienced, but he's got better goal-scoring prowess than Billy Chadwick. Not to take away from Chadwick, he's a brilliant player. He's a very, very good player. He's a player. But when we've not got a striker on the bench, and we've got one who's there, ready, waiting for an opportunity, you put him on the bloody bench. Why do you think McCann's so stuck for options? He brings on Mayer, then waits for ages. And when he brought Thomas Mayer on, took off Dan Batty, that solid holding midfielder that we needed, that's where it all really went downhill. He should have shored up the midfield sooner. If he was going to take Batty off, take Adelucan off at the same time. I don't care if it's pronounced Adelacan, don't care if it's pronounced Adelacan. I'm pronouncing it Adelucan because I think that's right. Tactically, McCann got it wrong with his substitutions, but we had that all last season, so that's hardly new. Just to finish this off, I'm going to just say how much this links back to the Sunderland game. Sunderland at the start of the season in the Carabao Cup. Very, very poor defensively. Very, very lucky that the scoreline isn't higher than it was. And in that Sunderland game, we got lucky that it was only on penalties. This game, defensive errors, very little in attack, same as Sunderland game. But this time, Fleetwood have the ability, which Sunderland didn't have on the day, to punish us for those little mistakes. Plain and simple. Whenever we come up against a better team, yes, Gillingham were pushing for playoffs last season, but they didn't get there. They didn't get there, and there's a reason for that. Whether it's a season being stopped, I don't know, but there's a reason they weren't there in the first place and were always pushing to get there. Crewe, newly promoted team. Northampton, newly promoted team. Plymouth, newly promoted team. These sides our League Two teams. Beat them. Go to a team that got in the playoffs last year, were fighting it up there with the big boys, and had the season continued, could have got into the top two. It is a completely different story. Our no defensive, our no goals conceded thing has been absolutely ripped apart. Ingram's clean sheet has been fairly muckied. And our 100% record for this season in the league is in absolute tatters. It's a long season, so don't get too down, but just remember, if there's other games like this season, this is what you need to refer to. Against the big teams, against Sunderland in the Carabao Cup, we folded, pretty much. Against West Ham, yes, it's a bit of a void comparison. Against Leicester's under-21s, under-23s, whatever, yes, it's a bit of a void comparison. West Ham, Premier League team. Yes, it wasn't their first team, but their attack is worth, like, pretty much triple, probably even quadruple, our entire team. Our entire club is worth about 20 million. West Ham's attack alone on that night was worth about 80. That is quadruple our entire club that their attack was. So the comparison is void. Against Leicester, we played a youth team. Leicester's under-21s is a youth team. But tonight, this is where we know we need to improve. Defensively. Defensively, against the big teams, we look in tatters. We look in tatters. And McCann needs to bounce back from this. Because if he doesn't, the McCann out brigade and all the negativity that we had last season will come back. It's just the way it goes. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this absolute, I don't know what to call it, unorganised match reaction. Like and subscribe. I'll see you later. We need to bounce back from this. We really need to bounce back from this.